Hello and welcome back to the go-kart project. Now, about half an hour ago I was putting the axle together. And now I have the axle on and the sprocket doesn't go into place. Now, where we start? We start with the fact that this is in the way. And this is in the way, which means I have to cut this off, but the problem is this is attached to that, so I'll have to sort of cut it off sort of there and make some piece of metal go from here to here. We have to get rid of most of this and this small piece that is behind it going to this rail here, and also we have to cut that sort of I reckon all the way from there. And that from there, you know. Anyway, we'll start with welding a pipe from there to there and from here to here. I haven't turned on the gas. Something's not right. No idea then what it is. These are not welding gloves, apparently. Ugh. Something about that. I'm not sure. There's some kind of coating in that, which is flammable, apparently. still carry on. I shall now place the engine. Sorry if I'm in the way of the camera, but you know, this is really the only way I can put the engine in place. And I was too lazy to move the camera. Well, there it is. Well, at least the bushings are tight, I suppose. Oh, there you go. And now the engine is in place. Some rethinking to do here. Now, after I had put the engine on, I took it off. You might be asking, what do you mean the engine's here? Well, after I had taken the engine off, I put it back on. Yeah. I have eyeballed where the sprocket on the axle should be. And I've also thought of a few things like having a look at the throttle cable system and the seat clearance and, well, the engine mount. One thing that might get a bit problematic is fuel feed. Now, this is where the fuel goes in. It's about that height, which means I should have the fuel tank higher than that. If I would want it to be gravity fed, like on a carburetor like this, usually, because usually the fuel tank is right on top. Now, I don't want the fuel tank to be here or here on the other side, yes, because in the first episode I did talk about centre of gravity. So I thought, is this really where the engine has to be? Could it be lower? And fiddling with the positioning of the engine and the seat, that's why I took it off. I thought, well, no, this is the only reasonable place I can put it in without stretching the frame. And then I thought, yeah, without stretching the frame. So, will I be extending it? Well, no. The reason is, if it becomes too long, the go-kartiness will sort of, how do you say it? Well, where I'm going with all this is, essentially I want to keep it short. So this is starting to look a bit like Project Binky, with fitting stuff that doesn't really fit onto something small. What I do want to do with the centre of gravity thingy is, I personally think the seat is too high. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the engine and take out the angle grinder and start putting the axle sprocket into place and adjusting the seat. Now, I'm sorry for the terrible lighting in my garage, but I've also figured a few things out while I've had the seat and engine in place. Now, one problem we have is the chain. This is the engine sprocket and this is the axle sprocket, as you can see. What can we demonstrate? Well, the chain, to demonstrate how the chain will go. Now, on this side, it is now it isn't no problem. Well, this will be obviously cut off, so yes, the chain shall go to the sprocket nicely. And the problem I have here is that the chain doesn't go quite nicely here because it takes on this. Now, I need to build some kind of roller somewhere here, but that will also work as a chain tensioner, so you know. But that's not now's problem, because now's problem is getting the chain, well, not the chain, but you know, getting the sprocket further back here. Ah, shit. Oh dear, that was the brake calipers. And that's about right. That is essentially how our hole has to sit. You might not see it from over there, but I've been lazy and not moved the camera, so yes. Brilliant work. Now the keyway hole is 4mm deep. So we shall attempt on going 4mm deep. Looking alright. So after about an hour of grinding, it was rather boring, so I turned the camera off and my beer didn't even catch fire, so Well, essentially it would have been a long grinding video, so you know, there's nothing interesting there, but you know, I am happy with the result. Which looks like that. So now what I have to do is put the engine back in place once again. See that the chain clears everything and is in line. So that is very tight there, and barely fit that in there. As I rotate it, it's not too wobbly either. So, I'm gonna once again start wrestling with the engine. Now I found a slightly better chain that doesn't bend as much as my previous chain I had here. I'd say I'm pretty happy with that. Yes, I can have my tensioner about there. Can you even see it? Well, basically not, but there's the shifter in the way. But yes, it shall work. Because it goes round this way, this cog is going to be pulling. So this will be the more tense side while accelerating, so this is the side to have the tensioner on. Anyway, is the chain even long enough? That's also a good question to ask. Well, I reckon yes, it is. Right, now where has the bolt gone that holds that in place? Now at this point I feel like an idiot because I found the bolt underneath the camera stand. Good job me. Yes. Now that it's tightened, it slips on right nicely. There we go. Now that it's been tightened, it seems to turn quite smoothly. And I am happy with that. Chain tensioner. You know what? First I actually have to make the chain, essentially. I don't think I have a chain lock handy. see shit, Captain. It's okay, buddy. One day I'll come back for you and you can get a new chain and a new chain lock. Man, this is rusty. Oh, hey, rust. More lube. Got him. Oi. A lot of fiddling around in a pretty dark place to receive a a rusty chain lock. Now I've established how long the chain has to be because I've wrestled the engine back on, so I'll just cut the chain to the correct size. Sorry for my camera being in a bit awkward position, but it's charging. And there we have it. I decided to use this for demonstration purposes because it's a roller. But then when I have a look at this, and going with what I have, I might just use this. It is also from the same engine as my sprocket adapter. However, now we shall see the moment of truth. Damn it! Now it is in gear. It is turning. Hang on, wait a second. It's turning the wrong way. Does that mean I have reverse? So you're telling me I have reverse? Well, it is a quad engine after all. Well, yes. Put it in actually in the highest gear. So, what I've discovered now is I have 3 gears forwards and 1 back. Yes. Oh yeah! Since I have reverse, I can't have a spring tensioning the chain, because then in reverse it'll just... the direction of the chain, and therefore the direction of the tension, changes. I guess you understand where I'm going with this. I guess I am going to call it a day. Since that day was called, it's been 2 months. As you can see, I have more space because the Mazda isn't here anymore. So what I'm going to do is tell you my plans now. Some extra metal for structure for the engine mount. Put the brake back on. I guess I'll start with that. And then after I've made some extra structure for the engine, I'll put the chain in place and start thinking of a chain tensioner. Now also some maths. Smaller tyres is basically closer gearing. So I'm going to extend the gearing. I'm going to put a bigger sprocket to the engine. Because I found one. And then I lost it again. I think 14 is the sprocket I have on the front now, but this is a bit bigger. This is a 17 tooth sprocket. And hopefully if I put this on the front, I will be going fast instead of pulling wheelies every time I take off. Now this is just theoretical, and I hope I haven't shortened the chain too much for that. Oh dear. Brakes are now on and rotates freely. Yeah, I am the engine. And I also remove the tyre. And I've had a little inspection. This is only held on to that. So I'll probably make something like a piece of metal here just for extra strength. This could actually turn out a bit overkill, but you know, I'll do it anyway. And then, most of the flimsiness comes actually from here. You see, sort of because most of the engine mount is on this, which is just bolted here. So, I did have, before I had to cut it off, actually over there, this piece of metal. How is it? It was sort of somewhere there, but this way. So I'll have two metal pieces, sort of, one over there, one over there, sort of measure equally apart. Then I'll have from here going a bar here, and same here, sort of having that there and having a bar going from here to here. And you know, just reinforcements. Well, I'll think of it as I go. So, montage? So I'm pretty happy with how sturdy that thing is because it holds my weight. And this video is already long enough, so I'll call it a video. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for the next episode, which is finishing off what I was already supposed to finish off in the last episode.